in Dalton, and I just left Tom Lavardi's house. He is awesome. He was kind enough to let people tent in his yard, and he provided donuts and coffee for breakfast and just tons of incredible advice. So even if you don't need a free place to tent, stopping in and visit with him and getting some of his advice on the trail is really priceless. So I highly recommend stopping and chatting with him. And now I am on my way through Dalton on the AT. I'm going to make a quick stop at Cumberland Farms little market up here and hopefully score some caffeine, maybe some Mountain Dew or something to perk me up a little bit. And this is just a pretty little town. I walked through yesterday. It's about a mile from his house to the rec center, where you can get a shower for $3 for if you want a towel. I opted for the towel. And just a nice little town, lots of hiker-friendly facilities. Had a wonderful dinner at Jacob's restaurant. Got a couple of ice cold beers and a Reuben and onion rings, and just really got my town food craving satisfied. And now I am on to Cheshire today. Well, I got my Mountain Dew. I don't know why I needed a sugar rush this morning after coffee and donuts, but I did. And there's the blazes. I'm heading up the road. I think I've got about a mile road walk to get out of town. Well, I feel like an idiot. I was so excited about my Mountain Dew, and I even took a picture of the blazes that showed a turn. I didn't take it. I was cruising, just enjoying my walk down the street, and I finally thought, I haven't seen a blaze in a while. And sure enough, I was going the wrong way. That's the first time I've really gone astray. So shame on me for not paying a little bit more attention, but thankfully I can get back quickly. So I earned myself a nice little bonus stroll around Dalton. It is really a pretty little community, not far from Pittsfield and even Albany, New York. So not a bad walk, but I hope it doesn't delay me getting to the post office, since I need to be there before they close at 4:30 today. I'll just have to make sure that I mind my time carefully and that this little stroll does not become a problem. There's my clue. I'm back in the right place. Well, here's my spot for getting back in the woods. There's a trail that goes the other way, and then the Appalachian Trail heads this direction. Oh, there's a blaze there. And I'm gonna have to sort that one out because it looks like trail goes that way, but I will figure it out. I'm gonna take just a quick little break here and get settled, and I'm thinking about maybe relacing my shoe because my foot's been feeling better for the past few days, but this morning with that roadblock, I was really not happy. And I've skipped some laces there to give it a little bit more room, but I think I want to change it up a bit and maybe skip those laces and move it up just to see if that makes a difference. Well, I've been cruising along, relishing the fact that I wasn't hiking in mud, and I passed a couple hikers who said I've got about a mile climb coming up, and I thought, well, that's okay, as long as I'm not in mud, I'll be happy. But it's quite possible it could be a mile climb through mud, judging from the looks of this start that I've got. Well, I just checked gut hooks, and it looks like I'm about maybe 2/3 the way up the climb that hiker mentioned, and it hasn't been bad at all. There really hasn't been mud other than what I showed you at the very beginning, and just some rocks to climb over, but they're big rocks, and I don't mind those like I mind the little ones. So anyway, yeah, so far so good, and I've actually only got, well, less than 7 miles to go, so I'm doing pretty well today. But looking at the elevation chart, I've got another, I think, total of maybe 700 feet to climb. And probably a little bit more than that because there's some ups and downs. So the total climbing for me is probably closer to 1,000 feet. And then, of course, there's down and down into Cheshire. So I don't mind. I feel like I'm mentally prepared for that today. Although it is muggy out, and I think I got a little dehydrated yesterday because I wasn't drinking enough when it was relatively cool. And so I'm going to remind myself to drink today and make sure that I consume enough water and get water when I have the chance so that I don't get dehydrated. And typically when I'm in town, I don't drink as much water as I should also, so I'm trying to be more mindful of that and just make sure that I am well hydrated so that I have the energy that I need. And speaking of energy, the donuts were awesome for breakfast this morning, but I didn't have any protein, so I'm just sitting here taking a quick little break. I'm going to eat a protein bar and then be on my way. So far this morning, this trail has been a very nice, very welcome change from all the mud I've seen in the past several days. I really don't mind the climbing at all, especially because it's pretty gentle. There may be some sharp sections, but so far it's just been mild, gradual ups, and very pretty woods. I am getting back in the mud, and you see all this water coming down here. This is not a stream. This is all runoff from all the rain that's happened recently, and it's just flowing right down into the trail. It's weird to be walking through the woods and hearing heavy equipment, but I've been listening to this for the past few minutes, and it looks like they're working on the power lines over there. And I'm just gonna go across and back into the woods. I've reached the turnoff for the Crystal Mountain campsite, which is about halfway through my hike today. And it's nice because it's got a privy, which a lot of campsites don't have. And I'm not gonna head that way. I'm gonna go ahead and stay on the AT. But one thing about Tom Lavardi's place is that he doesn't provide bathroom facilities. So if you need to use them, he's got an emergency potty tree, is what he calls it, in the corner of his yard with lots of vines and stuff around it, so it's kind of private, but that's just for number one. And otherwise he recommends that you go during the day to the Cumberland Market, where they have bathrooms and they're open from like 6 to 11. So that's his recommendation, but it's a little bit of a hike. And some people call hiking from privy to privy brown blazing, which is kind of funny. And people do it. Personally, I think privies are kind of gross. I use them when I need to, but they stink. I'm sitting here taking a little snack break on this rock, and I looked down and I saw these plants, and they look almost like a little miniature forest right there. All right, if you're watching this and you're thinking, well, Moonpie sure does take a lot of snack breaks, you're right. I am still losing weight. I've lost, let's see, I've lost at least 17 pounds since I started, based on my last weigh-in. And it's very difficult to get enough calories to sustain your weight, to find those really calorie-dense foods. And something I've noticed is that whenever I've lost a significant amount of weight before, my energy was just through the roof. And I haven't found that to be the case here on the trail, because I'm putting everything I have into my hiking. So I tend to get more fatigued, and I'm trying to eat more frequently and snack, healthy snacks when I can, but sometimes what you need is just sugar. So I will end up eating, you know, things like Mentos or Starburst or Skittles, and popping a few of those before I go up a mountain. I have cut back on candy bars at bedtime. I used to eat a candy bar like every night before I went to bed when it was cold, just to help with my metabolism, keeping me warm, but I don't do that anymore since it's hot out in the summertime. But trying to get the best, most concentrated nutrition I can. Lots of protein, healthy fats, and then of course a little indulgence when I'm in town. But it can be really challenging on the trail, especially when there are some things that you don't like Cliff Bars and tortillas. There's a few other things that I really don't care for, but I try to hone in on the things that I do that are nutritious and get as much of those as I can. There's a pretty pond here next to the trail that I didn't expect to see. And it looks like there's a couple of stealth campsites over there too. Nice little detour for a minute, but with all the rain and the bumper crop of mosquitoes, I can't stand still for very long. I'll get eaten up. I have been thoroughly enjoying the hike from Dalton to Cheshire, and I've only got about 2 miles to go. It's just after 12 o'clock, and so I'm doing great time-wise, or have been. But now the rain has started. I was hoping it would hold out till about 2 o'clock, depending on different forecasts. I just crossed my fingers that the 2 o'clock one was the best. But it's raining now, and it looks like I've got some steep downhills ahead, and some of them are going to be muddy. So I'm gonna just have to take my time and be safe. It's a bit hazy, but there's some view there. You can see a lake and the mountains in the distance. It's pretty. I'm heading up beyond all these rocks here toward, there's a place called the Cobble, and it's apparently it's a little steep side trail that maybe has a better view, but I'm gonna bypass that today. Well, there's the turnoff for the Cheshire Cobble, that little side trail there, but the rain has started again, so I am eager to get to town, eager to get off my foot, eager to get my packages. I am heading on down the hill. Wow, I guess this is the bottom side of the Cobble. Pretty impressive rocks in there. I don't know how well you can see it on video, but the rocks are from way up there across all the way down here, and these are big boulders, size of a SUV, pretty much, coming on down. Fortunately, I didn't have to scramble down those giant boulders. The trail is right there, and there is a little bit of scrambling involved, but not like that. Well, I am rolling into Cheshire now. I just came out of the woods onto this road, and if I'm going the right way, which I'm pretty sure I am, I will get into the middle of town and the post office, and maybe be able to get some lunch or sit at the library and dry out. Who will see? I definitely got torrential downpour on me the last mile, so I had to put on my poncho. Normally I just put it over my pack, but in consideration of local businesses, I didn't want to be completely drenched head to foot and dripping water everywhere, so I stopped and I kind of took it off my pack and just put it over me and the pack, and so far it seems to be working out pretty well. And this is a poncho that I picked up at a hiker box and traded in my Frog Togs one, which I wasn't real happy with. And this is just a vinyl one that seems to be working pretty well.